From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 23rd, 2020. We open, of course, with the World Holocaust Forum, which took place today at Yad Vashem, Israel's memorial to the Holocaust in Jerusalem, to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz and to stand against anti-Semitism. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was among the many heads of state who addressed the global gathering. He said the Jewish people have learned the lessons of the Holocaust, that we cannot take threats to annihilate us lightly, to confront threats when they are small, and above all, even though we greatly appreciate the help of our friends, to defend ourselves by ourselves. Israel's President Reuven warned that anti-Semitism does not only stop with Jews. Racism and anti-Semitism, he said, is a malignant disease that dismantles peoples and countries, and no democracy and no society is immune to that. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, who arrived in Israel this morning, spoke at the gathering. He said we must be prepared to confront and expose the vile tide of anti-Semitism that is fueling hate and violence across the world, and we must stand together. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier warned that the evil of the past is spreading once more and spoke of Germany's horrific crime. He said the industrial mass murder of 6 million Jews, the worst crime in humanity, was committed by my country. 75 years after the liberation of Auschwitz, he said, I stand here as the president of Germany, laden with guilt. French President Emmanuel Macron warned, after all that has passed, anti-Semitism and the scourge of anti-Semitism has returned. And with it, xenophobia and intolerance have also raised their ugly heads. President Rivlin, by the way, quoted Macron from his visit to the president's residence yesterday, saying that Macron said that while the countries can disagree, denying the right of the State of Israel to exist is a modern version of anti-Semitism. Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke at the World Forum. He said, we mourn for all the victims of the Nazis, including 6 million Jews. He said these death camps were operated not just by Nazis, but by their henchmen in various countries. That an apparent dig at Poland, who has been in conflict with Russia over Holocaust culpability. Putin, meanwhile, did meet with the mother of Naama Issachar, the young Israeli woman sentenced to 7.5 years in prison in Russia after a small amount of marijuana was found in her luggage during a layover in Moscow last April. Yafa Issachar said Putin told her that he will return her daughter home. She said there was no date yet for a possible release, but was told by Netanyahu it won't be much longer. The 26-year-old Issachar grew up in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, before moving back to Israel with her parents when she was 16. And just a programming note for you, JBS will broadcast the entire 3-hour Holocaust commemoration event from Yad Vashem tonight, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. After the forum today, Netanyahu met with Pence, who extended an invitation to the Prime Minister and to Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz to come to Washington next week. Israeli media is reporting that this visit will be to unveil the U.S. peace plan for Israel and the Palestinians, though Pence does not give specifics, but does say that prospects for peace will be discussed.
President Trump asked me to extend an invitation to Prime Minister Netanyahu to come to the White House next week to discuss regional issues as well as the prospect of peace here in the Holy Land. At the Prime Minister's suggestion, I also extended an invitation to Benny Gantz, the leader of the Blue and White Party, and he has accepted the invitation to join the Prime Minister with the President at the White House.
Israel's Channel 12 reports, without citing any sources, that the plan provides for Israeli sovereignty over all settlements and provides ultimately for the recognition of a demilitarized Palestinian state. The Secretary General of the Muslim World League, Mohammed Al-Issa, visited Auschwitz today. Al-Issa is a senior Saudi religious leader and former justice minister in Saudi Arabia. He joined Muslim religious leaders from several countries and a delegation of the American Jewish Committee on an interfaith mission to the former death camp. AJC CEO David Harris said the trip represented the most senior delegation of Muslim religious leaders to visit Auschwitz ever. The Muslim World League tweeted a photo of Al-Issa in front of the International Monument at the museum, writing that he called the atrocities that happened at Auschwitz a crime against humanity. The AJC tweeted video of Jewish and Muslim memorial prayers said together at Auschwitz today, writing, "Together we remember, together we will never forget." The historic visit comes just ahead of the 75th anniversary of the liberation of the death camp taking place at Auschwitz on Monday. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, January the 23rd at 7 o'clock, it's Talmud study. And then, as mentioned, from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern, JBS will be honored to televise the 5th World Holocaust Forum's ceremony, remembering the Holocaust, fighting anti-Semitism. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, Issachar speaks with Ambassador Ron Adam, Israel's ambassador to Kigali, Rwanda, who discusses the significance and importance of the UN's commemoration of International Holocaust Remembrance, held annually on January the 27th, marking the liberation of Auschwitz. That's on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 23rd, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader.